took the series against the Braves, which I was very pessimistic about. Very pessimistic about that series.
Took the series. What are you trying to be pessimistic? They whipped the living crap out of them. When the
Yeah.
hell has that ever happened?
16-4. I'm sad that I missed the game.
I was
Uh,
at
I,
work.
yeah, no, I had to work today too. So I missed it, and I can't wait to see and read the stats on that. But I mean, the bats needed to come alive, man. It's been way too long. I've
And
been getting really antsy watching this team. We had those two really poor series to start off. Francisco Lindor started like .035 before he got had that one hot game against the Reds.
yep.
Um, but I mean, and I don't want to be all negative. I don't know. Brett Beatty's looking fantastic, dude. Tell me that you're looking at Brett Beatty now, and he doesn't look like 100% different from last year, man.
I mean, yeah, but what do you expect when the kid knew what the stakes were, what the opportunity was in front of him, and he worked his ass off in the off season.
I know, man, but just like to see just such a turnaround on the defensive side, where I don't know, man. Every time in his rookie year, when the ball goes down the third base line, you're kind of you're biting your fingers a little bit, just kind of hoping that nothing bad happens because he either makes really, really nice plays or really, really dumb plays. He did in his rookie year. I'm seeing very little dumb plays. He improved defensively so much, and the bats help too because nobody can stay consistent at the right time anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what's been up with that. Alvarez and Beatty, honestly, have been leading our team. Jeff McNeil's had a really bad start to the year.
Alonso's
People,
been good.
yeah, but
He's been up there, but yeah, for the most part, it's been Alvarez, Beatty. Marte's been there, kind of. He's been good enough. He's been getting on base at a decent clip. Alonso has been Alonso. He's hitting the ball hard. Everybody else I feel like is just kind of working through the cold weather. Maybe I don't know.
well,
Working
I
through
mean, it's baseball. We're dealing with 160 whatever games. I mean, law of averages has to take place. It is very concerning to see it take place in the very beginning of the season. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, big win against Atlanta today, big win in the series just in general. I really thought we were going to get swept that series. I'll be 100% honest. The only thing that's been looking great for us is our rotation. Reminds me of a funny quote of an old Phillies legend that was getting interviewed in the 80s. They're asking him any positives about his team, and this was the year when the Phillies stunk. They were in last place. They were doing really bad and everything, and they were he said famously, he was like, "Well, the good thing about our hitting is our pitching's really good." And that's really been what this team's been about, man. Quintana's been doing really good. We've been getting, and we were talking in the preseason before about how we really needed our pitchers to step up, especially after losing all the big names and everything like that. And with Sangagan, we've lowest year in MLB, man. The New York Mets.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't seem like it because they started the season like 0-5 or whatever it was, but and
Dude, we
especially
were getting no hit to a rookie. It was embarrassing. Before Pete Alonso hit that shot in the eighth inning, I think that was against the Tigers that gave us our first win.
something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
but
remember.
we were getting no hit against the rookie up until the eighth inning when Pete Alonso finally was like, "Enough of this crap. We are fucking MLB players. Okay, this is embarrassing."
But yeah, the thing was that they were losing, but they weren't losing by like big margins. They weren't giving up 9 or 10 runs. Like a lot of these games they were losing were 4-2 or 5-1. It's just they were losing. It just wasn't necessarily because of the pitching. Outside of Severino's first start wasn't good, but then he came back in his second start, had a good start. Manaya has been good so far. McGill had a rough start, but then he ended up being hurt. So he's out. Hauser, I think he's been all right. Quintana was good today against the Braves. And in his first what has he had? 3 starts now, I think, and all 3 of them have been, you know, building into, in a positive fashion.
Well, what they
Um,
call him, quality start Quintana, right? That's all you
yeah,
need is a quality start out of him. So,
so that's good. It's just, the bullpen hasn't quite figured things out yet.
oh, I disagree. I think that we're using the bullpen a little bit too much because we're pulling our starters really early. These guys have been lasting like 6 innings and everything like that. So we've been having to use Brooks Raley and Adam Ottavino. I've seen them used in back-to-back games and everything like that. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe because it's the beginning of the year, you don't want to put too many. And with all of all the injuries with pitchers,
Mm-hmm.
there are so many out there right now, and nobody knows what's going on with that or what's causing that. So maybe we're trying to play conservative until Sagan gets back. I don't know, but
Let's be real. It's a very, very obvious and easy to know why all these pitchers are going down with elbow injuries.
I'd like to hear your opinion
It's
on it. I
very
don't play
simple.
baseball, so
It's very simple. I've seen a couple videos about it already on Instagram. It's a very simple reason, and it is not what the MLB is saying. Oh, it's the pitch clock. It's the bullshit. It's the pitch clock. It's the fact that we have pitchers nowadays that have so much more technology and training regimens and everything that they're trying to throw way harder than they ever have in the past, as in they're trying to go 110 miles an hour as long as they possibly can, and their arms are basically falling off. That's the
yeah.
issue, is that their pitchers are consistently trying to throw harder and spin the ball more on their curveballs and sliders. The human body isn't built for that. The
Yeah, that's
human
what I've been
body
hearing a
isn't
lot
built
of.
for guys consistently throwing 97, 98, 102 miles an hour 75 times a game, and then the other, 40 pitches trying to crank your elbow like this, throwing a curveball. The human body isn't built to take it, and that is the issue. That's the issue. Is the
Yeah,
MLB has gravitated from pitchers to guys who can just throw really hard accurately.
isn't that how now? And granted, I've only been watching for less than a decade, so correct me if I'm wrong here, but isn't that always how it kind of fluctuates in the MLB? So that you get like an era or a decade where the batters are really dominant, and then the pitchers figure them out, and the pitchers are really dominant. And you get like the Nolan Ryan era where everybody was just pitching like sub 2 ERAs and everything like that. Then they lowered the mound, and batters got back into it and everything like that. So I kind of feel like it goes back and forth like that. Uh, I don't know the answer personally. I don't play baseball. I haven't since high school. So I'm not exactly an athlete or anything like that. I'm not even going to pretend to know what it is. I heard a lot about player. There's a lot more players playing year round, and just from a body standpoint, that just makes a lot of sense to me. You got a lot of guys playing fall ball afterwards, after the season, the AAA and minor league season is done and everything like that. You got guys that are Dominican and Venezuelan and everything like that going home to play baseball there. And that's when those leagues kick off and everything like that. So you're pitching 365 days a year. You're not really supposed to be doing any kind of
Yeah,
major exercise 365 days a year. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not good for your body in general. You need to kind of rest up your muscles.
yeah,
That
that has
makes more
to do with
sense to
it
me.
too.
But again, I don't know.
No, yeah, I mean that's a part of it, but like I said, the bigger part is guys are attempting, like, forcing themselves to try and throw harder than ever before, and they're forcing themselves to put more spin on the ball than they ever have. Elbows and shoulders and arms aren't meant to do that. Like I heard, I saw a video on Instagram, I believe sometime last week, and it was like a guy had put it perfectly. With the technology and everything that players have at their disposal nowadays, they're fine tuning and powering up the engines, more than ever, but they're not, but the body isn't built to take that much power. It's
There's
like
only so much that the human body can tolerate unless you're a freak of
it,
nature.
exactly.
You
Which
know,
some of these guys we say are, but realistically, they're not. They're human. Some
I think it's a
another
multitude of reasons too. I don't understand why everybody's also trying to pinpoint it on one thing. You know what I'm saying? It could be a multitude of reasons. It could be we're focusing a lot more on spin velocity and everything like that, trying to get those curves and those funky things to make batters look silly. We're trying to get it up to 100 miles per hour. Guys are playing longer. The pitch clock might have something to do with it. I
yeah,
don't
that could be a little bit, yeah.
biologically it does make sense. Like just look at it from a body standpoint. You had 35, 40 seconds where you could just kind of wind your arm down, and now you have to throw it every 15 or 30
15,
seconds.
yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, you can't tell me that that doesn't have at least something to do with it. I mean, maybe it's a small percentage. Again, I'm
yeah,
not an athlete, but it could be a multitude of things.
yeah. It's probably a combination of a lot of things. Because another statistic I had seen in a video was something about I think it was 20 years ago. So you figure like the mid 2000s, there was about 10% of pitchers in the major leagues were I think it was averaging like 96 plus on their fastball, and you were seeing about one in I think like every like 11 or 12 or so. I forget the exact number, but it wasn't like a crazy outlandish number. It was like one in every 12 or 15 or somewhere in that range of pitchers were getting Tommy John surgery.
Mhm.
Fast forward to 2024, you have about 20% of pitchers in the major leagues are throwing 96 plus, and you're seeing about one in every three pitchers get Tommy John surgery. So the correlation of these guys, more guys throwing harder, is at least part of leading to more elbow problems.
Yeah, and I don't want to, put the whole take up the whole entire podcast time talking about this because at this point, by the time the episode's released, it's been talked to death at this point. But another thing I did want to say was that Dodgers pitcher, and I'm failing to remember his name. So maybe if you've seen the video too, he came out and back 2 years ago when we had the whole like suntan lotion and rosin thing.
Yeah,
He was saying like, oh, okay, well, you can ban that if you want, but I'm used to throwing it in that way. Like I'm only holding the ball so hard when we have that stuff on, and that stuff was rampant. I'm not saying that I was the one that was doing it. I'm getting it back from the other pitcher that's covered in goose so that it could do
yeah,
everything like that. So I'm only gripping it so hard. Now that I have to grip it even harder, it puts a lot more effort onto the elbow, everything like that. So they were saying that was a big problem too. The MLB's got a lot to figure out, man. It's been not a banner year for them. Not
no,
a banner year at
no.
all. How you
Especially
feeling about the
considering
Mets?
now you're saying that players aren't allowed to block bases on steals at all. Like I remember in the preseason, Lindor, his toe was blocking like the corner of second base, and they go, "Oh, that's a violate." What
Oh,
are
that
we
was such horseshit.
doing? Like, what are we doing?
And I think that indirectly directly led to the whole Reese Hoskins thing in the very beginning of the year. I don't know if you
Yeah, it could have.
Yeah, I think it did because like you saw Francisco Lindor like try and get out of the way and everything like that. He was basically out of the way. His right toe
Yeah,
might have been in the way of the base or whatever.
yeah,
I think that might have been like, our manager just saying, hey, you know what? Then just don't go anywhere near the base and everything like
yeah,
that. So when Hoskins did slide like that, and it was a not exactly clean, but definitely a legal slide, right?
yeah,
That's why I think McNeil reacted that way. I think he was under the impression that you can't do that at all anymore because
yeah,
if I can block the base, then why can you come in hard like that?
yeah. Yeah,
So
I don't know. I think it's just bad communication, and just nobody knows exactly what the rule is because it's like so kind of it's new, and nobody's really learned it yet and knows what the hell is going on.
and granted, man, there's been a lot of rule changes in these past
Yeah,
3, 4, 5 years, man. That's a lot to keep up with,
I know. It's tough.
especially when you're training your entire life playing playing the sport
Yeah,
one way, and then you get into the majors. It's like actually completely change this over.
Yeah, forget everything you ever learned in your
Yeah,
18 to 24 years of playing baseball so far. Do it this way now. It's like, wait, what? Like, it's basically like, you know, going your whole life batting righty, and then you like get to college at, 18 years old, and they're like, you know what? No, you don't bat righty anymore. You bat lefty.
try it out.
Wait, what? Huh?
I don't know.
It's like, but no, I'm a righty. No, you're not. Never step in that right-handed batter's box to swing a bat again. What do you mean? Like,
Yeah, it's not gonna work out. No. How you feeling about the Mets though? I know we had that rough start, and then since the Reds and the Braves, it looks like we've been putting things back together. What's your where are you?
I,
Where's your meter at?
I mean, at this point, I feel like I should just kind of stick myself right in the middle of like, it's still April. It's still very early in the season. We're, 3 weeks into the season. Let's see where they are come like June and see how things are going there. Just go with the flow for right now. It's a long season. You're going to go through ups and downs, and it's, you just got to kind of keep fighting and keep scratching and just take it one day at a time.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of right there with you a little bit. It is a long season. I get it and everything like that. I actually came onto this podcast ready to be in full on doom and gloom mode because I really thought we were going to get swept by the Braves. Truist Park has not been friendly to us at all in
No,
like, I don't know, 3 4 years. It just feels like we always go there and lose and lose and lose.
Atlanta hasn't been friendly to the Mets for like 50 years. Like, let's be honest.
I mean, yeah,
Or
no,
whatever
but
it
I mean,
is.
especially these past couple of years, like before it was before we had to deal with the Phillies and then the Nationals and everything. It feels like the Braves for the past 5 6 years have really been that powerhouse now that we really have to worry about. So and we've been playing like absolute dog shit. So I really did. I expected us to go in and get swept, but we won the series against the Reds. Our bats woke up in that very last game against the Reds. Our bats woke up in the very last game against the Braves. First game against the Braves was really good, back and forth the entire time. Not a good pitching game, trust me, but it was a really good game. I'm a lot more confident in this team now, especially with us getting Senga back, especially with us getting JD Martinez, who should be playing sometime soon. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, last I heard, he was getting a cortisone shot in his back for back tightness or
Is
stiffness.
that it? I heard it was all completely contract related. I didn't think it would had anything to do with an injury, so that's a bummer.
Yeah, I don't know. But no, Senga's still going to be a while. They moved him to the 60-day deal, so he's not even eligible to return. I think sometime closer to the end of May. So I believe he is throwing at this point, but he's still that they're just going to let him take as much time as he needs and make sure he's 150% ready to come back
I mean,
before
we've said this on earlier podcasts, man. I
yeah.
mean, if while we have Senga out, if we can just kind of coast until we get him back, which is what we've been doing, right now with the Braves series win, I think we're like right below 500. We're a little sub 500,
Yeah, I think
five
they're
and seven or
five
6 and 8,
seven, I believe.
5 and 7. Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
yeah, that's fine.
yeah.
Coast. Let's get JD Martinez back in the DH spot. Speaking of JD Martinez and that DH spot, man, what is going on with DJ Stewart? It was like 0 for forever up until like I think this game
I
that
don't
we.
know. I mean, he's hit a couple home runs this year.
I mean, that's it though. He's been 0 for forever. I mean, and you have Vientos raking in AAA. He's been doing really good. I don't know if you've been paying attention to his stats, but he is doing great in AAA. So, and you're not going to bring Vientos up to be a third baseman, especially with Beatty playing so good. So why not give Vientos some shots at DH while we're waiting for JD Martinez to come back? That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. Beats
Uh,
me.
but anyway, we've got a lot of positive signs. I think that we're on track to still be that wild card dark horse team that we were talking about in the preseason.
Yeah. Only thing Mets fans need to do, at least from what I've heard, again, seeing some stuff on Instagram and stuff like that, is the Mets fans then when the Mets get back to Citi Field, I forget if it's this weekend against Kansas City, or if they're going to Kansas City. I have to check real quick if I could. Um, yeah, when they get home tomorrow to play Kansas City, the Mets fans need to give our leader, our guy Francisco Lindor, an absolute, just overwhelming standing ovation. Despite the fact that he's struggling, this man has never suffered defensively, has taken over, stepped up, taken over a bigger leadership role this year. He's being more vocal. He's helping out the young kids. He does so much for this team. And, obviously, his first year there when he struggled to the plate, he dealt with the boos and stuff like that. And I've heard and I agree with the fact that, hey, it worked for Trey Turner in Philadelphia.
That's a big
Why
story.
not? Why not do the same for Francisco Lindor? This man is such a professional. He's such a great person, an amazing, Gold Glove shortstop. He's struggling a little bit at the plate. Show him that show him that we appreciate him, even if he is struggling a little bit, and trying to help him take some pressure off of himself.
Now, I'm all for fans being the proverbial 10th man and everything like that, and getting players on their back saying we support you and everything like that. Maybe I am being a bit of a contrarian here, but the fact that Steve Cohen even had to say that, I think kind of even ruined it a little bit. And
Yeah.
granted, I don't think that he even needs it anymore, especially if again, I missed the game of the 16-4 game. I'm gonna have to check the box score for that and everything. But if he was raking in that game, he was raking in the Reds game. He didn't have a bad series against the Braves, so he might be out of his slump. No, it was a
No,
bad.
no,
So
one for
everybody but
six.
Lindor. Yeah, everybody but Lindor hit. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's
He
cheer
got
him
one
on.
hit. He got one hit.
Let's cheer him on then. I don't know. I wish it was more organic. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would have been out at like if I was out there on City Field for the Royals game, I'd be cheering my ass off for Lindor. I'm wearing a Lindor jersey right now. I know you can't see the back, but that I love the guy. I really do. You can
Yeah.
kind of start the Mets like resurrection into relevance when we got Lindor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
that's
this
true.
is like
Yeah.
the Lindor era of the Mets. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So if
Yeah.
we're this guy's the face of our team, I'm definitely putting him on my back and helping him and cheering him on and everything like that. I just wish it kind of came more organically. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah. Because I heard it from, I saw an Instagram video from, I forget what his name is, but it was somebody on the fan, I believe it was on WFAN, mentioned that the Mets should do it. And if Steve Cohen said it from what you said, it also,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, that was a big Twitter thread that blew up
yeah,
this
it
weekend.
does take away from it. I still think they should do it though. At
Oh,
some point,
100%.
yeah.
100%. That should not change the motive or anything like that. It might change the reception of the message. I feel like Lindor said, "Oh, well, they're only cheering because Uncle Steve told them to." But
Yeah.
I mean, we're still gonna do it. Lindor's still our guy. I'm not really that worried about Lindor. I know a guy of his caliber is gonna figure it out.
Hmm.
It's concerning that it's taking this long, but I think he's never shown us that he's not capable of getting out of a slump before. McNeil, I'm a little bit worried about. McNeil looks like
He had a really good game today. He
oh,
had a
does he? Okay, cool.
he had a
So he might
really
have
good
figured
game
it
today. He hit a few balls really hard. I know he had like an RBI double at one point, but yeah, no, McNeil had a really good game today.
good. Because I saw Brandon Nimmo turning it around too. I know he was struggling at first, and then I think it was the first or the second game of the Braves series where he went 4 for 4 with 2 home runs. That was awesome.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
McNeil was 2 for 3 with 2 walks today, so he
yeah, we're taking that. We're
with
taking that.
with 3 RBI.
Absolutely. That's a quality start for sure.
All right, time to move on here. We talked about that a lot.
We did, but I mean, it's the beginning of the
It,
year. We're both Mets fans, so
yeah, so it had to be done. So NBA and NHL regular season's about coming to a close. So you're a little more in tune with the NBA at this point in time. How do you think things are going to be playing out here going into the playoffs? Who are your teams to watch in the East and West?
Okay, so I'm gonna have to start out in the West just right off the bat, and you know that I'm not gonna take a second, not gonna take a second to shout out probably one of my favorite teams in the NBA right now, and that's the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shut up, let me talk about them. Let it just happen. They're a young team. They're playing really well. They're either going to be playing the Warriors or the Lakers, whoever's going to come out of that first play-in spot. I believe that we have the number 2 or the number 3 seed right now. It's the Wolves or the Thunder who have the number 2 seed because the Nuggets locked the number 1. And yeah, no, I'm feeling really good about that matchup and everything. I think that we can just take advantage of them. Definitely coming out of the first round. Definitely going to use that for momentum, and I could see a really deep playoff run. Honestly, man, the only team that I really scares me coming out of the West that the Thunder can't compete with is probably Jokic and the Nuggets, man. So I expect a big, deep Western Conference Finals run at least for my Thunder. Over in the East, it is just the Boston Celtics show, bro. It's the Boston Celtics show. I don't see anybody beating that team. No way, no how. They
Well,
won
I'm
80% of their games in the regular season. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I was just giving you the scenario. They won 80% of their games in the regular season. The number 1 seed by far. Uh, the Knicks might have been a really interesting matchup for them before Randall went down. And I don't want to
mhm.
count the Knicks out 100% because after Randall went down, they put up really big statement wins against my Thunder and the Boston Celtics. So
Mhm.
they showed that it can be done. Now, regular season games don't mean shit when it comes to postseason at all.
Yep.
I've watched teams that swept another team in the regular season go on and get swept in the postseason by just a clearly better team because most teams, when you have that kind of talent and everything like that, they know we're going to be in the postseason. Let's just coast and keep ourselves healthy. You know what I'm saying? So they might take those games for granted and everything. That being said, if I had to pick right now, and I'm not going to do 1-1, I'm not going to do 1-1. So let's go Mavs out of the West. Mavs or Thunder out of the West. And then I can't really see anybody other than the Celtics or maybe the Bucks if they figured things the fuck out with their head coach and everything like that. But
Well, see, that's
Giannis being
the
Giannis,
problem
that's the
with the
only
Bucks.
reason. Yeah, go ahead.
The problem with the Bucks is their head coach.
Yes, the coaching sucks and
Like,
everything like that. They cannot figure it out. But Giannis is just Giannis. There's just so much. There's only so much you can do against a player like that. You know, Victor Wembanyama is like that, and it's so interesting because it's like Giannis was like the precursor to what was to come for Wembanyama because we saw Giannis just completely dominate the league when he was young because he just brought us such a different dimension to the game. Nobody's supposed to move that fast or be that strong when you're that tall and everything like that. And Wembanyama is now just saying, I'm going to be taller and faster and watch this shit. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So I
not
can't wait.
not stronger though.
What?
Certainly not stronger though.
No, but faster, faster
That's
and more
true. Yeah.
ball skill handling.
That's true.
Giannis is definitely stronger for sure,
Yeah,
especially now in with Wemby in his first year. Dude looks like a string bean.
he does.
Give him some, give him some time to put on a couple of pounds, and we'll see. But yeah, for sure. I got the Greek Freak being just the Greek Freak. You gotta put him in some kind of contention. But I don't really see anybody other than the Celtics coming out of the East.
Not the Cinderella Miami Heat and
How
playoff
many
Jimmy
times,
Butler.
yeah, how many times are we gonna do that story, man?
Playoff Jimmy Butler.
And the team just keeps getting worse and worse. It's almost like Pat Riley is just saying, "Well, how bad can I make this team and still have Jimmy Butler just carry us throughout?" You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't.
No,
I
yeah,
don't.
because after their run last year, what Gabe Vincent left. Like
Yeah,
they lost three of their key role players.
yeah.
Kyle Lowry's gone. They traded him. Gabe Vincent left. And I think there was like one other player that ended up leaving in free agency.
And I want to check the East standings right now because if it is, yeah, the Magic are the number 5 seed and the Pacers are the number 6 seed. So if you're looking for dark horses in the East who you really want to pay attention to, that like that could be really fun young guys, kind of like the Thunder out of the West. Look at the Pacers and look at the Magic, man. Paolo Banchero out of the Magic is a real deal. I don't know how far he could carry this. Definitely, not, they're going to be a first round out this year, especially they're playing the Cavs, so you never know. They could push it. I don't expect the Cavs to lose. So, but Paolo Banchero is the real deal. The Magic are a really fun young team to look out for. If not this year, then next year. And the same could be said about the Pacers, but they're a little farther ahead, even though they're behind in the standings.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese Halliburton's here right now, man.
Yeah.
He's great. They have Pascal Siakam. I if I'm the Knicks right now, the Knicks would be playing the Pacers. I'm kind of pooping my pants a little bit, kind of. Especially if you could get Halliburton back healthy, especially if you could get Siakam out there doing Defensive Player of the Year like he was doing when the Raptors made their run. I mean, yeah, that could be a good dark horse team. Now, the second they play the Celtics, that's it. It's
Yeah.
over. You know.
I am going to have to disagree with the Orlando Magic pick, though, just because I have a couple friends who are Orlando Magic fans. So I'm going to disagree just for that reason alone.
I've never met an Orlando Magic fan. That's wild.
I know too.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I'm kind of weird being the Oklahoma City Thunder fan and everything like that. I've never met another fellow Oklahoma City Thunder fan because we're about 400 miles away from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Never. But yeah, Magic is weird. Magic's a nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NFL draft coming up soon and
Oh
everything like
yeah, it's a
that.
couple weeks away. Yeah.
Yeah. How you feeling on that? Where's your team picking this year?
Uh, 20 something because I mean they made the playoffs,
Yeah.
so
So
they're
late
down
20s.
there.
Yet hear anything about what guys might be taking?
Who the hell knows? They need so much. Like,
This is depressing hearing this from you. I have more optimism about my terrible team than you do about that. Listen, man, this draft, if you've been paying attention, if you've been reading, if you've been watching like highlight tapes and everything like that, go into YouTube, pick a name out of the first round, even deep into the second and third round, man. This is a draft class with a lot of talent spread out too. It's not just the quarterbacks who are getting all the hype and everything like that, obviously, because it's the most important position in football. But the wide receiver pool runs so deep this year. You want cornerbacks? They got Kool-Aid McKinstry. They got this kid Cooper something. I'm gonna look it up in a little bit, but I just want to finish my point. He's a white kid out of Penn State, and he is he's getting Jason Sehorn comparisons. He's our last great white defensive back and everything like that. So I mean,
oh, that's not the kid with the unfortunate last name, is it?
no, it's not the kid with the
Okay.
unfortunate last name. Thank God. Thank God. That would have been a heck of a mess. The fact that he's white, really good at a predominantly black position, and he has a really unfortunate last name, no, that's way too much for me. I'm just gonna have to distance myself. Yeah, no. It's Cooper something, and like I said, when you start talking, I'll look up his name. But they got the defensive backs covered. Jared Verse out of Georgia is looking like a beast of an edge that can revolutionize a team's defensive position. You got Braylon Trice, another deep edge. Like the edges all run deep. Joe Alt, the linemen run deep. This is a really cool draft, man. It's a really cool draft where you can get a guy that can anchor that position for a really long time. And we have the sixth position, so we're getting a good guy, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, but I mean the Cowboys pick at number 24, potentially projected to take an offensive lineman with that pick, which obviously they need because they let everybody walk in free agency, didn't sign anybody in free agency.
Bold
Uh,
strategy.
yeah, so I mean, what this team needs, they need two starting offensive linemen, a running back, a wide receiver, three defensive linemen, a couple of linebackers. Like they need everything. Like what? And this is supposedly what all in looks like to Jerry Jones. From what he said, he is all in on 2024. Hasn't signed anybody. Didn't sign anybody in free agency. Like none of the big names. Nothing. Lost two. Their starting left tackle, their center, their starting running back, three defensive linemen. They didn't have any linebackers to begin with. They cut one of their receivers. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm going to go ahead and say I know a lot of Cowboys fans would probably think differently. I am not your typical Cowboys fan of this is our year every single year. I think the Cowboys are going to suck in 2024. I do.
Well, that's refreshing to hear for once in my life.
I think their
Get down on
ceiling is probably seven to eight wins.
Yikes.
Unless some freaking magic happens the rest of the offseason. Again, you're replacing two starting offensive linemen, your starting running back, a receiver, three of your like rotational defensive linemen. You're going to have probably two or three new linebackers out there. You're going to have Trayvon Diggs coming off an ACL injury. I just don't see how all those moving parts is going to translate to a winning season.
Yeah, I mean, you got to really nail this draft, which you guys are kind of famous for doing. Like, you guys have good drafts.
Yeah, I mean, over the last like 10 to 12 years or so, we had some. There was a stretch in like the mid 2000s where they missed a lot, but over like the last 10 years or so, they've gotten a lot better.
Yeah, man. I mean, we have to go back to the 20 aughts, like 2011 or something like that, to find a master class of Giants drafting. So, I mean, it must be nice, you know. But yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to the draft only because we have the number 6 pick, and every single position that this draft, which is already stocked with talent, is like they have a dearth of, is what the Giants need. This wide receiver draft class goes like 3 or 4 rounds deep, if you ask some people. The quarterback class, there's like 4 or 5 solid starters and then one project guy out there in Bo Nix. There's great offensive linemen, which we also need. There's great safety help, which we also need. Cooper DeJean, who I'm really excited to see. Like the Giants could almost go anywhere, and I'd be really excited about who they pick. And that's the first time in a really long time for me. Usually I'm really antsy, really anxious about like, we really got to nail this because how far back a bad draft set a team.
Oh yeah, trust me, I know.
I mean, my team's been living proof of it, especially in this
the
era.
Cowboys were living proof of it, years ago. Think about the drafts when they were taking Felix Jones in the first round. Look how that worked out.
Yeah.
When they swinging and missing at first round draft picks, like.
Yeah, we both had our share of stinkers, especially.
Yeah, think about even the most recent Taco Charlton.
Where
out of Michigan was a first round draft pick.
All the hype,
and he did nothing. He was on the Cowboys for like a year or two. I think they traded him to Miami, where he also did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea where he's at anymore, if he's even in the league still.
Yeah. But I mean, there are so many, and we've had a bunch of stinkers for drafts and everything like that. We've only really hit on Saquon Barkley and Andrew Thomas, and Saquon Barkley's not even on our team anymore. So and that's just recently. But I think that we're picking so high, and the draft class, quality of talent in this draft class is so good that we could go anywhere, and I'm going to get really excited about this guy. So I am super psyched. Super psyched. I got the date down on my calendar. I can't wait.
I mean, I'm okay with the Cowboys picking an offensive lineman in the first round because it seems like more than anything else, because I believe it was you that basically informed me that Jerry Jones did actually play college football. He was an offensive lineman. So it seems like clearly he knows how to pick offensive linemen because he's hit pretty well. You know, think about Tyler Smith, that they have now, Tyron Smith, who they just let go, Zach Martin, Biotish was, serviceable. He did all right at center. Um,
You're underselling it right
you
now.
know,
You're trying to oversell it and you're underselling it.
yeah,
As
Travis
a fan of
Frederick,
a rival
like,
team, the Dallas Cowboys offensive line has been a unit to fear for a
yeah.
decade plus almost.
So more than
Terrifying.
anything else, at the very least, like when it comes to picking offensive linemen, Jerry Jones knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
So
So
it,
we are predicted
if
by
they go the
NFL.
route of replacing one of those offensive linemen in the draft, I'm gonna be happy about it, even though I don't really know any college players, just because I've seen the history, and the history is good.
If you want offensive line, Joe Alt and Olumuyiwa Fashanu had to look up his name before I talked about him because I didn't want to disrespect him by mispronouncing his name, and I guarantee you I butchered that. Even still looking it up, but those are the two big guys that are like these guys can anchor your line for years to come. Like
Well,
this is
those guys are probably going to be gone before the Cowboys pick, but
Joe Alt is actually projected to go to us in the NFL.com draft that I'm looking at right now. And Fashanu is top 15 too. So yeah, I mean, and you're gonna have a lot of trades and everything like that. I don't expect line is a pretty high need
yeah.
position. So
This
you never know.
particular mock draft I'm looking at currently has the Cowboys taking Troy Fautanu out of Washington.
Edge.
No, he's an offensive lineman.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they went with you with that. That's
So
perfect. Yeah, but if you could get
we should see.
Fatanu, if you could get any of these top two or three guys in the positions, I'm telling you, man, this is going to be a really fun draft class to look back on. Kind of the opposite problem that we have in the NBA, where they're saying this could be the worst draft class since the Giannis draft. And
Oh, what? Oh, this past one, the 2023 draft,
no, this draft class
or the
coming up.
coming draft, 2024.
Yeah, is going to be there. Every expert is saying this is going to be one of the worst draft classes in recent memory. They're comparing it to the Giannis draft, which, if you remember, Giannis was drafted number 42, just
Yeah,
because nobody knew what the hell anybody was doing in that draft class. Like,
and
there,
nobody knew who he was either
yeah,
because
they didn't know who he was, and there were just no other stars or anything like that. So, I mean, I think I got to look it up, but it's like you got to go 20 people down to find a good starter now
yeah,
in the honest draft, and that's what they're comparing it to in the NBA. So
Jesus.
yeah, not looking good for your Nets and everything like that, especially or any kind of rebuilding team. Honestly, if it were me, if I were the Nets, I would just start trading picks, man. Start trading a lot of people.
Let's see. I'm very curious about this now. I have to look. When was he drafted? 2013 NBA draft class.
That draft class is considered one of the worst in recent memory.
Let's see. Draft selection. Oh well, I mean, starting right off the bat here, one of the biggest draft busts in NBA history, to the Cleveland Cavaliers, Mr. Anthony Bennett.
Yes, played all of what 10 games.
It's pretty bad. You had Victor Oladipo, who was good until he had injury problems. Otto Porter Jr., Cody Zeller, Alex Len, Nerlens Noel, good old Ben McLemore,
Oh boy,
Kentavious Caldwell Pope, not bad.
still a decent role player in the league at this point.
Trey Burke,
Yeah.
somewhat decent. Hey, all the way at number 10, we have our first. I don't even know if he's made an All-Star team, but CJ McCollum.
Okay. Yes. I
There
don't know
you
if he's
go.
made an All-Star team either, but if he hasn't, that's a travesty
I
because
know.
he's really good he was really good in those Portland years.
Uh, 76ers taking good old Michael Carter Williams.
Oh, I remember a lot of great talk about him. I remember how he was going to be the point guard to revolutionize their game. That did not happen.
Number 12 going to your Oklahoma City Thunder, Mr. I still believe he's an old man, Steven Adams.
Yeah, that is so okay. We've gotten all the way down to number 12
That's
before
number
we
12.
became a guy that actually helped his team in a significant way because Steven Adams was the anchor of our
Oh,
team
he
for
was.
a very,
Yeah,
very long
he
time.
was.
Yeah, he was the defensive anchor of that Oklahoma City team for a while.
And then you have,
Offensively, not your guy, but
yeah, you have journeyman Kelly Olynyk,
okay.
Shabazz Muhammad,
Yuck.
and then at number 15 was Giannis.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So he was the first round pick. I thought he
Yeah,
fell to the second.
he was.
Okay, so I was incorrect there. But yeah, I mean, just this is the type of draft that you're looking at. That young gun out of Purdue, who went on that run up all the way up until he was smited by UConn. Edie,
Oh, yeah.
like a big
I don't
giant.
think he's going to end up being a good NBA player. I just feel like
But
he doesn't.
this is what you're looking
Yeah,
forward to.
I just
You
feel
know what
like
I'm
he doesn't
saying?
have the athleticism. Like he's just not. He doesn't have like the right like build and like speed to play in the NBA. He's just a very tall, very lumbering. Like if he was being drafted in the '90s, he'd be great because
Oh yeah,
he's a big, tall, just kind of brick house built kind of dude. And the NBA is just not like that anymore.
yeah. No, the
Like
athleticism
unless
is
he can
definitely a concern.
somehow go into the NBA and kind of turn himself into like some shade of like Jokic,
Mhm.
I just don't see how he's gonna be his game's gonna translate to the NBA.
Yeah, no, athleticism is definitely a concern. The dude's built like a meatball or a
Yeah.
refrigerator or something like
Like
that.
I watched some college basketball, especially like in the tournament. I watched a couple Purdue games and this dude literally just lumbers up and down the floor.
Wemby
Like,
would make it look silly.
oh
Wemby
dude,
would absolutely make it look
Wembenyama
silly.
would be running circles around this dude. Like Wembenyama would be going up the floor, and if Zach Edey was trying to chase him, Zach Edey would be completely and utterly out of breath, needing an oxygen mask in about 2.5 minutes.
Especially because like Wembenyama could cross the court in like 5 strides.
Yeah, yeah. Like I
Uh,
know Edey is 7'4", so he's tall himself, but the dude can't run.
yeah, no.
Yeah,
When and no disrespect to women's sports or anything like that, but when the women's basketball tournament is far outshining the men's, you know
yeah.
you're in for a rough draft class.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, no disrespect to women's sports or anything like that. NBA is obviously the more popular brand. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
you're looking
yeah.
at draft prospects and everything like that. You're looking at the men's team or the men's side, and there's almost
No.
not.
Whereas like
It's
this might
getting
be like
dominated by
uh,
Caitlin Clark, by
yeah,
Juju.
this, like as far as WNBA, this might be like the most talented draft class that they've ever seen.
Maybe ever. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it is. I mean,
So,
good for them, obviously, but
yeah.
it's just wild to think about, like, just yeah, just
If
where
you told
where
me
things
10
are
years
at.
ago that people would actually be caring about the WNBA, I would have laughed in your face. If you told me that women's college basketball tournament in March Madness was not only going to be heavily talked about and everything like that, but must watch TV, 10 years ago, I would have called you crazy. Like nobody cared about women's anything back then. So
Yeah.
it's good to see that they're getting the spotlight that they deserve and everything like that. I mean, and from the few, I don't watch any college sports. I don't. I just don't. Men's, women's, football, basketball, and that's a me thing. I just don't have the time to commit to it and everything.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm watching a game with the very limited time I have, it's going to be one of my favorite professional teams, not college. And that's
Yeah.
just, but that being said, the very few games that I did watch, Caitlin Clark's electric.
Yeah.
She's
She is.
cool, man.
She and the biggest thing I see with her as opposed to like so many of these other ladies is that she actually, to me, at least from what I've seen in like the limited amount that I've watched, is it feels like she's the only one that actually shoots the ball as opposed to like trying to slingshot the ball. Like you see her form, she's literally up there just shooting the ball. Whereas so many of these other girls, you see them taking it like from their chin and trying to like slingshot the thing.
I think that's a height thing. I think it's a height thing because I know what you're talking about. They start from their chest and kind of go
Yeah, or
like
even
that.
or like they start here and they kind of
Yeah.
like chuck it, whereas like she
And
just goes up and just shoots it.
and I'm never gonna take an opportunity. I'm never gonna miss an opportunity to tell everybody non-athlete. Okay, so no idea what I'm talking about, but maybe I think it's a height thing because you don't see anybody in men's NBA shooting like that. It's a very women's thing, you know. But I know what you're talking about, and
It's
that's
just
got to be
I think
something.
somebody needs somebody. Their coaches need to tell them like this is how you shoot. I'm 5'5". I played basketball. I don't shoot the ball like that.
Okay, I mean, hey, I've never played basketball, never.
But I think it's just a difference of I don't know if it's maybe nobody's ever really told them or what the deal is that they feel they need to put that force into it to get the shot there. You really don't. Like basketball is not that heavy. Like all you really need to do is just put it up there and flick the wrist. It's gonna go. Because from the couple games I saw, on like a Friday night when I was sitting at the bar having a couple of drinks, a lot of these girls, like when they toss up these like slingshot shots from here, they're overshooting.
Hmm.
They're missing the basket. That they're overshooting the rim. They're putting too much force into their shot.
It helps your case that the best shooter in women's basketball history is the only one that's actually has that shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Where it goes above her head and everything like that.
yeah. She's putting it up and she's
Much
just
more traditional NBA shot.
flick of the wrist. Yeah, that's really what it is.
Uh, so definitely helps your case there.
Yeah. Um, Before we move on to anything else, I just want to quickly go through uh the few other notable names from that 2013 draft class because there's not too many.
Oh boy.
At 17, you had Dennis Schroeder, Shane Larkin, Sergei Karasev, Tony Snell. 21, you had Gorgie Jang. At 22, good old Mason Plumlee,
Ooh.
Solomon Hill, Tim Hardaway Jr., Reggie Bullock. At 27, Rudy Gobert. And at 31, the first pick in the second round was Alan Crabb, who was a decent role player for a few years. Other than that, the rest of the second round was like people I've literally never heard of before. I
So
don't know.
Alan Crabb, who basically stole money from Portland for one good year of basketball, Rudy Gobert, Steven Adams, and
Yeah,
Giannis.
and
That's it.
Giannis.
We're talking
And
about.
Dennis Schroeder.
Oh,
He's pretty good.
okay, Dennis Schroeder. Otherwise, what we're talking about is either serviceable role players or guys
Yeah,
that were in the league for 1 or 2 years and then completely flamed out. You
yeah,
know,
pretty much.
that's what we're looking at this year,
Pretty much.
analytically speaking, at
Yeah,
least. Jack Hughes got season-ending surgery way after our season had already been confirmed to be over and everything like that. I don't even care if we're mathematically in it by now, dude. We're done. We're done. We're done.
no, I think they are mathematically eliminated at this
Well,
point.
thank God by this point, so I can stop, fucking talking about them. It was a joke of a season. It was a huge disappointment straight from the start. A comedy of errors and letdowns and bad luck and injuries and just stunk. It stunk. So we're gonna rebuild, retool, and we'll be back next year. That's the last thing I want to say about the Devils. If you want to talk hockey, I'm here. If you want to talk Rangers, I'll be there to support you and everything like that. I'm done with that.
No, I want to have some fun. So let's have some fun.
Let's do it. Leg
And
connections.
here we go.
All right. I
Oh,
think we are 2-1, I believe.
something like that. We've done pretty good. I know we got at least one. I don't remember if we got more than that. But names up for tonight, we have Mac McClung, Caleb Swanigan,
Oh boy, that's a fun one.
Joel Freeland, Cade Cunningham, Caleb Houston, Caleb Holmesley.
So wait. Four Caleb's right off the bat. They can't. That can't be one, right?
Well, let me finish.
Okay.
Uh, Travelin Queen, JaVale McGee, Luol Dang, Caleb Martin, Carlick Jones, Kyrie Irving, Ben Gordon, Chris Paul, Paul Reed, and OG Anunoby.
This is a tough one, man.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, are we gonna do the four Caleb's right off the bat? Let's do the four Caleb's right
Yes.
off. Okay. There you go.
Watch this.
Player's name Caleb. Awesome. All right. Cool. Give me that one. Okay. So
Okay.
we have Mac McClung, who is only famous for being in the dunk contest. That's it.
Yeah.
The only thing he's
That's
ever done.
all he's done is win a dunk contest.
So let's think about whether or not we see any other either A, YouTube famous at first, or B, dunk contest participants. I see JaVale
Or
McGee.
potentially, did Cade Cunningham and McClung get drafted in the same year?
No, McClung's undrafted. He's only
Oh,
good
he
at
was
dunks.
undrafted. Okay.
Yeah.
So could any three of these other guys potentially be undrafted also?
I mean, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I have no idea who Carlik Jones or Joel Freeland are.
Yeah,
That's
me
it.
neither.
Or
Or
Trevor.
Paul Reed or Travelin Queen.
Paul Reed sounds familiar to me. I guarantee you, I've seen him or heard of him before. 76er.
Maybe, yeah, potentially. Looks like. I mean, we do also have Hinton here now.
Okay, well, before we bust out the hints, let's figure this out. So we have like right off the bat, Mac McClung's only good at dunking, undrafted YouTube star. Okay,
Yeah.
so we don't have anything there. Chris Paul, very famous pass oriented point guard, defensive pass oriented point guard. Kyrie Irving's also known for his assists. Huh. And that's that.
I have absolutely no clue.
JaVale McGee, Luol Deng, and Ben Gordon are all really good defenders, very good defensive minded players. Would that have anything to do with it?
Potentially
JaVale, Luol, Ben, and Kyrie. Do those.
JaVale, Luol, Ben, and Kyrie.
Well, stop me there. Don't hit submit yet. Who would you change out of this?
As opposed, as far as what, I would probably take Kyrie Irving out of this one. If
I was
you're thinking
thinking
defense.
Kyrie or Luol.
Well, what are you thinking that the connection could be?
Opponent field goal percentage.
Now, Kyrie Irving don't play defense.
He's good at everything else except for shutting his fucking mouth. So,
No, he don't play defense.
all
He does
right.
not play defense.
All right, then take out Kyrie and put in Chris Paul.
Okay, you want to take a shot at that?
Not really. I don't feel good about it. But
I mean, we got some chances. Do you want to try it once and then?
sure, go for it.
All right, let's see what it says.
All right.
Nothing. Not even close.
Not even close. Wow.
Not even close.
Yeah, because usually we get the one or two away, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I thought Paul Reed was the guy that died from Fast and Furious, dude.
No, that was Paul Walker.
Who's Paul Rudd?
That would be Ant-Man.
Okay. Lots of different Pauls. We're naming Pauls. All right.
All right, Paul Bunyan.
Could that be one? Could one of the categories just be naming Pauls? Wait,
No,
Chris Paul Reed,
no.
who was jokingly called Paul once in their life. I don't know.
Nobody.
I don't know, man. I'm reaching here.
All right, let's go for a hint. We got the easy one, so let's review. Oh, from the United Kingdom?
Luol Deng. Luol Deng is definitely from the United Kingdom.
Yeah, he is. So who the hell are the other guys from the United Kingdom?
Carleek Jones sounds pretty United Kingdom esque.
Yeah, it kind of does. Uh, Travelin Queen?
It's got to be
Maybe
these three, these two right
the
here.
guys we don't know of. Mc- McClung is
McClung's
American.
white. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
American.
Chris Paul is American. Kyrie.
Is from
Uh,
Brooklyn.
well, yeah, he is. Joel Freeland could be.
Oh,
Ananobi, I think it's
hold on. Arcade and OG part of the new wave of really good Canadian players because that could be where Carly can travel in or Joel come in as Canadian players too. But we're doing the United Kingdom now, so let's focus.
yeah. Ben Gordon, I have no idea.
He's got to be American.
Yeah, OG, I know is I believe is Canadian. I don't think it's JaVale McGee.
Can't be JaVale.
Actually,
Joel or
what?
Paul. Paul's a really common white guy name.
He's,
You know, very
I
well.
don't think. I think I think it's either him or potentially JaVale McGee.
All right, let's do it.
I'm gonna go with Freeland for right now, though. Let's see if that's it. No,
Not even
not even
close.
close. What the hell?
Fuck, man.
So we know it's definitely Luol Deng is one of them, right?
Yeah.
He's from the United Kingdom. Who else is potentially from the United Kingdom?
Did we choose Paul?
Paul Reed?
Yeah.
No. You want to try him?
Let's do Paul, Carleek, and
And
maybe Ben. Maybe Ben. I don't know, man.
I don't know about Ben Gordon. For some reason, I feel like JaVale McGee is one of them.
I think he's from Washington, honestly. Like
Yeah, he might
DC.
be. You want to try Ben Gordon?
Or he might have played for DC. Maybe that's why.
Well, yeah, he
No.
has done that. He has played for them before.
Ben, Big Ben. I don't know. It was a stupid connection in my head. The clock.
Oh, I mean, he could be.
No, that's really dumb. Or get angry if that's actually it.
No, for sure. Why Mac McClung? Why do I feel like he could be the other one?
Because he's not good at basketball.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I have no idea.
Oh man, I'm pretty sure. I'm almost 100% positive he's American.
So who are we going with? Ben Gordon or JaVale McGee?
What is OG's? No, OG's Canadian, right?
Yeah, he's Canadian, I'm pretty sure.
Or did he just play for Toronto, and that's why you think he's Canadian?
I don't know. I could be, but I thought I could have sworn I thought he was Canadian.
Do JaVale.
So those four, all right, let's give it a shot. No. And like not even
All
close.
right, then fuck it. Do OG, because I'm thinking about it now.
All right, so Luol Deng, OG Ananobi. Who else are we putting in here?
Carleek,
And Queen?
yeah. Fuck
I
it.
mean, it's a. Do we want to try another hint and see if we can get something else?
This is our last one, so yeah, let's try one more hit.
Oh, the hard hit. Vegan players. Oh God, that's not going to
No,
help.
fuck that. Do the
No,
next.
although vegan players, I think Kyrie might be one.
Oh yeah, because aren't Muslims vegan? I don't know that.
Yeah, I think they might be. Kyrie, I believe, is one. Uh, you know what? Okay, let's just reveal the other hint too. G League MVP.
That's Mac. That's definitely
That's
Mac.
Mac.
Yeah.
It's got to be like the guys we've never heard of.
No, I think we did this one already, though.
No, we didn't. Unless Paul Reed, maybe is he one?
Kate Cunningham was one now that I think about it.
No, not G League. I don't think he played in the G League, did he?
No, you're right. You're right. No, he
He
started as
came
a
right out.
yeah.
So it's definitely McClung. I feel like Freeland might be one of them.
All right, do Queen and Jones then. Let's see what
Queen and
happens.
Jones. See if
I'll
that.
bet you OG's the British one.
Nope, wasn't that. Damn it. That was a hard one.
That was a hard one. OG
Oh,
was a British one. God damn
he
it.
was
And
a
it was
British
Ben
one,
Gordon
and it
too.
was Ben Gordon. Ah,
Oh my God. I should have went with my guy, OG and Ben.
and um, I forget what his name was now.
They love me. That's okay.
Damn.
We're 2-2. We're two
Vegan
and
players.
two.
I was right on Kyrie. I didn't know about Chris Paul, Cade, and JaVale McGee. Shit.
Yeah, I
So we
did not know that Chris
Max.
Paul was vegan.
Oh, it would have been Jones. We were close. I think we put him in or instead of yeah, we put this guy in instead of Paul Reed, and we would have had it right.
I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, that was a tough one though. So
It was. It was a really, really hard one. I'm
that was
gonna
a hard
say,
one.
nah, that's fine.
All right, I think that's enough for tonight. Next
You
time
want to
we're
hit us
on,
with for next episode?
next time we record, we will most likely be into, um, or if not, days away from the NHL and NBA playoffs both starting. We will be a week closer to the NFL draft,
Mhm.
and uh, the MLB
I'll be all
season.
in on the NBA playoffs. I'll tell you that right now. I'm going to be all in on the NBA playoffs. I am an overnight worker. I do not sleep at night. I work instead. Therefore, I am up very early in the afternoon, around like 12, 1 o'clock, which means that baseball games, I'm like, I wake up, I have my coffee, and I'm watching the first pitch of the Mets game. It's freaking great. I love it. One of the very few cool things about working overnight. So I'm going to be watching a lot of baseball. I'm going to be watching a lot of the NBA playoffs. So prepare to talk about that.
Okay.
And
Well,
oh,
I'm going to be busy coaching baseball, so.
oh, I'm coaching soccer. We're both
Ah,
coaching. That's cute. That's cute. Yeah, my boy, I got twins. Shout out to them. Yeah, he's playing soccer and I'm his head coach.
good for you.
Second game Saturday, we're 0-0-1. We drew the first game 3-3.
We are 1-0. Second game on Saturday.
Yeah. So there's a lot of my bald ass with a beard and everything like that screaming on the sidelines at a bunch of 9 and 10-year-olds. It's really funny. But they have a great time. They love me. I have a great time. I love them. It's really fun. So that was your wholesome moment of the podcast.
All right. Well, that is it for tonight. I know you're going to do your thing wherever you're putting
Like,
stuff,
follow,
all
subscribe, all that good stuff.
that
Our
fun stuff.
handles, as always, are below our names.
Oh,
Please make
okay.
sure that you follow us there. Subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. That really helps us out a lot. Give us likes and comments and everything like that. If you comment on any of our stuff, we will be sure to shout you out. We are just young and new enough to shout out anybody who's going to be interacting with us. We love to have the conversation. The only reason why we're doing this is because we like to talk sports. So come talk some sports with us. All right.
Yeah.
We'll catch you guys next week.
See you next time.
Later.
Yo.